Hey everyone, welcome back to By Devin Nails. I'm so excited that you're here today, and I'm super excited about this set that we're going to create together. Rossi from Rossi Nails reached out to me to see if I would like to try their products, and it was definitely a wow, you're actually asking me moment. I was so excited. I've used Rossi in the past. They were actually one of my very first dip companies that I used, and they were my first favorite liquid, so I was so excited to give them a try again. They sent the whole 3 liquid set and 3 gorgeous, perfect for fall colors. So their 3-piece liquid set is really similar to a lot of the liquid sets. You've got your base coat, your activator, and then a top coat. They've got a really nice brush, and I like that there's a little bit of texture to the lids so you can get them off easily. It was a little bit more of a challenge to get them out of the box, but I finally succeeded. And then here is the top coat. You can see that they open really nicely, and it's a really great consistency on the liquid. One of the reasons that I moved away from Rossi originally was the dry time was just a little bit fast, especially in the beginning when I was first learning how to dip. I needed just a little bit more time, but as I've gotten a little bit better and I have a good process, they are perfect now, and so I'm so excited to have these to use. So the first color is this muted Glamour. It is a gorgeous dark purpley with kind of some brown undertones, perfect for fall. And if you look at the lid there, I think that this might chrome. So I don't try chroming in this video, but I definitely have it on my to-do list. The next color is Lucid Dreams, and it's a really pretty chunky glitter. And you'll see as I mix it up, it has a lot of fine and larger pieces with some color shift in there. It has more of a purple color on those glitters when you activate and put on the top coat. And then you are going to want a couple dips of this if you want really, really even coverage on your entire nail with no other color or clear looking through. There's a lot of clear in there. So you can make a lot of different looks because you can layer it. And then this was Biscuit, which also looks like it can chrome to have this really pretty kind of muted gold color. But I'm going to use these 2 purple ones first. So I'm going to put some Rossi peel base on that I had already in my collection. They have a great peel base and I use it a lot. I like to just do 1 layer. It helps these to pop off with just a little bit of e-filing. The thing about peel base is you really have to figure out what is the best combination for you based on how long you want to wear your nails. If you have on tips, I have on tips here. So I'll use just a little bit more than I normally would. Then I'm going to go in and put this cute muted Glamour on my whole thumb, my pointer, and my pinky. And I do use this little cuticle tool. It's like a little metal toothpick that I got off of Amazon, and it is the perfect tool. I love having it. That way I don't have to go through hundreds of different sticks that I'm just throwing away. I can just use this and clean it after each one. And then I'm going to get the pinky. So we've got really great coverage for this color, but I'm definitely going to need a second and I think a third coat on at least my thumb. The application there was not quite as even. And because I'm wearing tips, I'm not going to do my normal apex method because the tips have already kind of given me that apex. But if you're interested in seeing what my apex looks like, you can check out my how-to video, and it goes through my whole process for when I'm dipping on just my natural nails. I usually use 4 to 5 layers. I'm going to do less here because I've already got the tips on, and that creates a little bit of those layers for me. I do love to use this masking tape that I got off of Temu, but you can also find something similar on Amazon or at a beauty supply shop. I put it down the middle, and on my ring finger you can see that I just put the muted Glamour on one side, and then on my ring finger I'm going to put the muted Glamour on both sides. I do dip both sides independent of each other. I've just found that's easier. And with this tape, to help it come off easily at the end, I don't put the dip liquid straight onto the tape. I just use the tape to kind of figure out where the liquid should go. And then here I go back for that next layer after brushing off the excess. The dip liquids are working so well, and as I thought when I got them, I definitely have improved because the time on these is perfect. And I'm really loving this color. It is so pretty and dynamic. It's super dark, so in some light it's going to look a lot darker, but it's like a deep, deep wine color, and I'm really, really loving it for fall. Have all of these ideas of possibly dipping and then stamping over it with a kind of metallic color. I think that could be really cool with some fall leaves. So I'm going to pull off my tape here. And you can see I've got about 2/3 of that middle nail still empty. I'm going to go back in with those glitters. And I did wait to do my ring finger just because I did do those dips last. So I want to make sure that they're fully dry. So dipping one side, and then I'm going to go through and put the liquids on the other side and dip that second side. You can see here I kind of push my brush towards the tape rather than putting the brush straight on top of it each time, and that way it comes off really nicely. You don't get any goo underneath. You can use your cuticle tool if you do get any dip kind of under your tape to kind of clean it up. And then, like I thought, I did need a third layer on my thumb. The others are looking perfect, but I'm going to do a third just so that they're all nice and even. They have the same amount of layers. All right, so cleaning up cuticles just a little bit. These went on really nicely. I push my brush towards my cuticle to help from flooding those cuticles. Just a little tip if you are newer or looking for a way to avoid having to do a lot of cuticle cleanup. I found that it's easier to avoid my cuticles than having to clean up later. And now I'm going to go in for these glitters. I'm super excited about this glitter. I think it's going to be really pretty. I did tap it to pull more of those chunkies up to the top. And then using my cuticle tool to get any that are kind of hanging off my nail. So pretty. And then just down the middle stripe here. I'm not worried too much about if these get outside of that. I'm not looking for a super crisp line today, but if I was, I could have put tape back onto the other color or been more careful with my dip liquid application. So I did need to do a second layer here to get the coverage that I was looking for, but I'm really liking how well these laid down flat, and the shine on them is so pretty even without a top coat. And then here goes that second layer. And these are dipping so fast, and I can tell that I'm not going to have to do a lot of buffing. I am going to pull out my clear. So I'm going to use my clear from Thunderbird Lane. They have an excellent clear. It is crystal clear. You won't be able to tell that it's there at all. And I'm going to do that to help protect my glitters. But because I did a third layer of Muted Glamour on all three of my solid nails, I'm not going to go in and put clear on them because I've got plenty of color there. I won't buff it all off. And now I'm going to activate. And the activator here does have a little bit of a scent like most regular liquids do. I'm really lucky not to get dip flu, but if you do, I'm not sure that these would be the liquids for you. And then the trick about our encapsulation is always use that stiff brush to make sure that you get all the extra clear off before you activate. And these are already looking so great. I can tell that this would be an amazing color if you wanted to keep them matte. You can either use a matte top coat, or a cheap girl tip is after you put your top coat on, you can just use the buffer to just lightly buff the shine off, and you've got a kind of matte look without having to buy another product. It's a great way to see if you like a color matte before you have to run out and get something new. So I'm just buffing each of these and using my file to get the shape, and I love to run my file around my cuticle line just to make them all nice and even up there. I had to do very little buffing. These went on super smooth. One of the things that does help with that is laying my finger into the dip rather than dipping in, and making sure that you have nice thin layers with your liquids. These liquids worked really, really well. And I'm going to wipe off all of that excess kind of dust with my alcohol and get ready to activate a second time. So overall, I'm really impressed with these liquids. It had been probably about 9 months or maybe a year since I'd used Rossi liquids, and I found them to be super easy to use. The liquid was a great consistency. It was easy to not flood my cuticles while still getting even application and a nice thin layer on each. And the activator worked super well. They hardened super fast, and the top coat went on so well. I do 2 coats, so I do a quick 1, 2, 3 on each, kind of floating that top coat over so I don't contaminate my brush. And then I do a second layer where I can be a lot more slow and more precise with my application and make sure I get all of my spots and check for a beautiful shine. I am loving this for fall. I probably wouldn't have grabbed this color on my own, and I am so excited that they gifted it to me. So thank you to Rossi Nails. I think these turned out fantastic. Loving them so much. Thanks y'all for stopping by. This has been By Devin Nails. I'll see you on the next one. Bye y'all.